Isn't Betty White absolutely fantastic? And she always will be. And the character of Bitey White, I just absolutely love. Forky Asks a question, what is love? Is a pretty interesting episode of Forky Asks a question because the characters actually really try to answer the question, but because love is such a complicated thing, they get themselves into a bit of a knot. They end up confessing love to certain characters. I won't spoil it too much by saying which characters have feelings for which other characters, but it ends up being quite chaotic, but absolutely heartwarming and kind of heartbreaking at the same time. This is, of course, written and directed by Bob Peterson. We have Tony Hale as Forky, Mel Brooks as Melephant Brooks, Carl Reiner as Carl Rhinoceros, and Carol Burnett as Cheryl Burnett. I'm loving these names. I'm absolutely loving these cameos in these character names. And of course, Betty White as Bitey White, who is a child's teething toy, chew toy. And no, chew toy definitely makes it sound like the children are dogs. A teething toy, a teething ring. And Forky, of course, asks the question, what is love? And Melephant and Carl have a little bit of discussion about this, and then they open up to Cheryl, and Cheryl begins to explain what she thinks it is, and then, well, I won't say what role Bitey White plays, but I love that character's introduction. I just love the way she appeared. I thought it was so fabulous, and such a great way to treat a character voiced by Betty White. The narrative for this one is not my favourite. My favourite Forky Asks a question is still what is a pet? Because I loved Officer Rib Tickles and the narrative that was given. But in terms of the cameos, the naming of the characters, of course, the characters here are very brilliant. And Bitey White, I love Bitey White as a character. Definitely What is Love is a very strong Forky Asks question. It tries to answer the question as best as it can. Maybe leaves more questions left unanswered. But I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely a strong installment in the Forky Asks a Question series.